My favorite areas in Mong district are Ladies Market and the Flower Market. For me, those places are full of stories, exciting and colorful. But for me, Mong district is beautiful in its own way because the stories of the ordinary people there are very special. My name is Leeh Ann. I'm from the Philippines and I've been here in Hong Kong since 2013. I'm a domestic worker, but I'm also a photographer, especially on my days off. Before coming here in Hong Kong, I was a high school teacher back in the Philippines. The main reason why I left my job and come here in Hong Kong is due to financial reasons. The salary that I was earning back home is not enough compared to what I'm earning as a domestic worker here in Hong Kong. But as years passed by, I fell in love with Hong Kong and I see it now as my second home, and it is quite hard to leave this place. It was hard for me to cope up with the changes. I mean, from being a professional back home to a domestic worker here in Hong Kong, it's like my life turned 180 degrees. And I was really struggling at first. And one of the reasons that I used to cope up with those challenges is photography. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Since then, I have been using photography to fight the homesickness, fight the stress that I'm feeling. The photos that I take is also my way of sharing what I feel, how I see Hong Kong as part of my journey of being a migrant domestic worker here in Hong Kong. For me, Mong district is different in a special way. The photos that I capture in the area makes me feel more connected to the city. The scenes that I see in the area makes me feel that I'm not different from the locals here in Hong Kong. May mga kainan dito sa gilid-gilid. Kasi pag biglang pitik, mahirap yung magmamanood focus kaya so naka-auto yung focusing ko. Pag ginagalaw ko lang, ayos ko switch on. I think one of the difficulties that Filipinos face here in Hong Kong is the stigma that if you are Filipino, people think that you are a domestic helper. At first, it was really quite insulting, but maybe I just got used to it. When I was starting photography, I was with local employers, and they are not that supportive. Compared to the employers that I have now, they are giving me enough freedom to do photography. They also let me put my works around the house, which makes me feel that they are proud of me. They know that photography for me is not just a hobby. It's my way of keeping up with the difficulties that I face here in Hong Kong, and it's also my way of expressing myself. Honestly, if I start to think like where will I be in 10 years, like I don't really have a specific answer because I don't really plan. But I can still see myself here in Hong Kong, but not as a domestic worker anymore. I see myself like maybe traveling with my works, being exhibited in different areas. We Filipinos here in Hong Kong are being stereotyped as domestic workers because of the fact that majority of us here are migrant domestic workers. But people don't really realize is that we also have professionals, musicians that are working in the city. And for domestic workers, the common stigma is that we are just a maid. But what I want to tell others is that with my photography, I can do better and I am more than my job. I am more than just a maid.